Welcome. So the topic we'll be discussing in this lecture is defuzzification. So defuzzification is the process of converting the fuzzy input to a crisp input, okay, or a fuzzy output to a crisp output. That is, the whatever the content which is in fuzzy form, converting it to a crisp form. That is called as defuzzification. So you know what is a fuzzy form? Fuzzy form, it takes values between 0 and 1. Whereas crisp, it takes values just 0 or 1. Okay. So converting fuzzy to crisp, that is what is called as defuzzification. Okay. So suppose if, for example, if high temperature is given by this particular fuzzy content, that is 15, its degree of high temperature, degree of membership value for high temperature is 0.1, 20, 0.4, so on and so forth. So in this case, if you are asked to find the crisp value that implies high temperature, then how will you do that? How to calculate that? That's what we are going to discuss. Okay. So this is one example. Or or say for example, a membership function is represented through this graph. A membership function is represented through this graph. Now x can take different value. For different values of x, the membership function will give different output. Okay, this is actually a fuzzy output. If x is 0, it will return 0. If x is 1, probably it will return 0.1. If x is 2, it may return 0.3, so on and so forth. Okay, if x is 5, it may give 1. Again, if x is 6, it may give 0.8, like that. Now this is a fuzzy content. Okay. Now what will be the crisp value of this particular fuzzy set? How will you find that? Okay. So these are some of the questions which can be answered by converting a fuzzy set to a crisp set. Okay. Here is another example. Consider we have two rules. The rule 1 is something like this. If x is a, then y is b. And rule 2 is something like this. If x is b, then y is d. Okay. So here you can see x can take two values, either a or b, and y can also take two values, either c or d. Okay. So this is one plot which represents x. Okay. So this represents the inverse of x, and this plot represents the inverse of y. You can see here some values of x comes under a, some value of x comes under b. So say the membership function is given like this. That is, if x falls between this range, then it will take the value of a. If x falls between this range, it will take the value of b. But there is an intersection point. If x is in between these 2 points, in between, especially if x is in between these 2 points, then it will take values both from a and b. Okay, that is, it will take such values which are common in a and b, right? Similarly, the membership function for y is given like this. When y is taking values between these 2 points, this is the membership function. But when y takes values between these 2 points, this is the membership function. Okay, and if y is falling between these 2 points, then it can take value from both from c and d, right? Okay. So in this case, what is the crisp value that can be inferred from the above rules? Given an input, say x is x dash. Assume that for this particular x, at this point of x, that is, we call it as x dash. For this particular x dash, we want to identify the crisp value. Now if you see, it is associated with a and also it is associated with b. It is cutting a at this point. Okay, and it is cutting b at this point. Okay. So from a means what? A is related with what? C. Okay. So from A you draw a parallel line to C. Okay. And from B is associated with D. From B draw a parallel line to D. Okay. So from this set D, it can take up to this values. Right? Yeah, it can take these values from set D. From set A, from set C, it can take these values, right? So totally this many, so these are the possible values it will take, the x dash. But this is a fuzzy set. Now how will you convert to a crisp set? Okay, this is the question, right? Uh, so why should we convert? Why should we convert the crisp set to fuzzy set? You may ask. What is the reason? Why should we go for defuzzification? Okay, because in real life, in some applications, the particular, what you call, the whatever the application on which we are going to use these techniques, those application may not be able to deal with fuzzy output. They need a crisp output. Okay, in that case, you have to convert the fuzzy output to a crisp outputs. Okay, the fuzzy results generated cannot be used in an application where decision has to be taken based on crisp values. Okay, so this is the reason why should we convert and fuzzy result to a crisp result. Okay, in some cases, the fuzzy results generated cannot be used in an application because the application makes decision based on crisp values. Okay. For example, if temperature is high, then rotate some particular machine, say R first. That first is the name of the machine. Okay. Here, here maybe the input T high is fuzzy. Okay, but the action rotate should be based on the crisp value of R first. Okay, in that case we have to convert this fuzzy result to a crisp result. This is the general structure of a fuzzy system. The fuzzy system basically it takes a crisp input. It takes some input and then it is passed on to the fuzzifier. The fuzzifier is the one which converts the crisp input into a fuzzy input. Okay, it converts the crisp input to a fuzzy input and then it goes to the inference mechanism where some inference rules will be applied. Based on that, it goes through some transformation. Okay, it may be any rule. Whatever the rule we have applied, we have discussed so far. Okay, it can be composition, it may be Zegday's-Maxmin rule. Okay, or it can be anything else, right? And finally the output will be produced, and the output will be in the form of fuzzy, and again it will be defuzzified to produce the crisp output. Okay, this is how a typical fuzzy system works. It takes a crisp input, converts it to fuzzy, then it goes to the inference mechanism. So here, based on the fuzzy rules, it will undergo several transformations, and finally the output will be produced. And the output in the fuzzy form will be again converted to the crisp form by using the block defuzzifier. So this is the part which we are discussing in this session. Defuzzifier is the one which converts the fuzzy result to a crisp result. Now let us let us try to understand the various defuzzification techniques. So these are some of the defuzzification techniques available. The first one is called as lambda cut method. The next is weighted average method. The next is maxima methods. The next is centroid methods. So in this lecture, we will be concentrating more on lambda cut method. So in this lecture, we will be discussing how defuzzification can be done using lambda cut method, right? Okay. So this again, this lambda cut method, we will be discussing these lambda cut methods in two types, in two forms. The first thing what we will be discussing is lambda cut method for fuzzy set. How lambda cut method works in fuzzy set, that we will be discussing. Then we will be discussing like how lambda cut method works for fuzzy relation. So these are the two flavors of lambda cut method we will be discussing. One is lambda cut method for fuzzy set. The other one is lambda cut method for fuzzy relation. Okay. So lambda cut method is also called as alpha cut method. So if you recall, already we have discussed briefly about alpha cut method. So it is same as that. Okay. It is an extension of that. Right. So lambda cut method is otherwise called as alpha cut method. Okay. So let us discuss the actual concept. So the concept of lambda cut method, what it says in the sense, consider a fuzzy set A. The fuzzy set A is converted to a crisp set. That crisp set will be called as A lambda. A lambda, such a way that this lambda will take value between 0 and 1. This lambda will take value between 0 and 1. Okay. So this lambda cut method is given like this. A lambda equal to, okay, A lambda equal to x. That is, it contains such values it contains such values such that the membership function of x were greater than or equal to lambda. That's it. So this is as similar as alpha cut method, right? A alpha we have discussed, right? A alpha means what? It will take such x values whose membership functions value were greater than or equal to alpha. It is same as that of that. Okay, it is same as that. So instead of lambda cut, we can also call it as alpha cut. Okay, that is the value of lambda cut set A alpha is x when the membership value of the corresponding x is greater than or equal to lambda. Okay. So lambda cut method for set A is also called as alpha cut set, right? Okay. So, so as we have discussed, we will be discussing lambda cut method for fuzzy set and also fuzzy relation. So first we are discussing lambda cut for fuzzy set with an example. So consider this fuzzy set A1 which contains these fuzzy values x1.9, x2.5, x3.2, x4.3. Now A 0.6. So now the lambda value is what? 0.6. Okay. So whatever the value which is greater than or equal to 0.6, those values alone will be taken. Remaining we won't take, we will ignore. So x1 is membership value is greater than or equal to 0.6. Yes, take it. So x1 comma 1. We consider this. 1 means we consider this. x2 is its membership value is greater than or equal to 0.6. No, so we don't consider it 0. x3 its membership value is greater than or equal to 0.6. No, so 0. x4 its membership value is greater than or equal to 0.6. No, 0. Okay. So x1 1, x2 0, x3 0, x4 1. Now all these 0 things you can ignore. So if you ignore all the 0 things, then we have only one, that is x1. So the resultant a lambda, I mean a 0.6, the value is x1. Okay. Right? Okay. Let us consider another fuzzy set A2 with these values. Now for this fuzzy set, if you want to calculate A 0.2, so 0.2 again you check whether 0.1 is greater than or equal to 0.2, no, so 0. 0.5 is greater than or equal to 0.2, S1. 0.8 is greater than or equal to 0.2, S1. 0.7 is greater than or equal to 0.2, S1. So these are the things we got. So wherever it is greater than or equal to 0.2, it is replaced with 1. And if it is less than 0.2, it is replaced with 0. Now ignore the 0 things. So the resultant A 0.2 with lambda value 0.2 is x2, x3, x4. Right? So this is how the lambda cut works with fuzzy set. Okay, this is how. So here we have converted the fuzzy set to a crisp set. Okay, this A2 is a fuzzy set, whereas A 0.2 is a crisp set. Okay. So this crisp set only contains these things x2, x3 and x4. Right? Okay. So here are somewhat more detailed examples. So consider two fuzzy sets. So this is a fuzzy set. This P is a fuzzy set with these values. That is, its x1 value is 0.1, x2 0.2, x3 0.7, x4 0.5 and x5 0.4. And Q is another fuzzy set with x1 0.9, x2 0.6, x3 0.3, x4 0.2 and x5 0.8. Okay. Now P 0.2, that is the alpha cut for P 0.2. It will be what? That is for the set P with which is greater than or equal to 0.2. Is x1 is greater than or equal to 0.2? No. Is x2 is greater than or equal to 0.2? Yes. So x2 will take. Is x3 is greater than or equal to 0.2? Yes. So x3 will take. Is x4 is greater than or equal to 0.2? Yes. So x4 will take. Is x5 is greater than or equal to 0.2? Yes. So x5 will take. Okay. Similarly, you can calculate for Q 0.3. Q you have to take here. So Q will take x1 because it's greater than 0.3. x2 will take. x3 will take. Other than x4, everything will take. x1, x2, x3 and x5. Okay. Next, P union Q 0.6, that is alpha cut value is 0, lambda cut value or alpha cut value 0.6. So P union Q. P union Q means you have to take max of this. So max of this is what? 0.9. Max of this is 0.6. Max of this is 0.7. So here it is 0.9, here it is 0.6, here it is 0.7, here it is 0.5, here it is 0.8. Then you have to calculate which is greater than 0.6. Is it greater than 0.6? Yes. This is greater than 0.6? Yes. Is this greater than 0.6? Yes. Is this? No. No. So we will get only what? X1, X2, X3 and X5. We won't get X4. Okay. Similarly, you can calculate for P union not P, and then the alpha cut value 0.8, P intersection Q with alpha cut value 0.4. All these you can work out as homework. Right? So here we have discussed lambda cut for fuzzy set. Similarly, we will discuss lambda cut for fuzzy relation. So now consider this fuzzy relation. So the fuzzy OR is given like this. This is a relation. Okay. Now say the alpha cut relations for the following values. So these are the alpha values we are considering: 0, 0, 0.2, 0.9 and 0.5. Okay. So R0, that is R0 means the relation R with alpha cut value 0. So 0 means it will take all values which is greater than or equal to 0. Here everything is greater than or equal to 0. So it will be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Or 0.2 means it will take all values which is greater than 0.2. Is 1 is greater than 0.2? Yes. Is 0.2 is greater than or equal to 0.2? So greater than or equal to 0.2. So 1.3 is greater than or equal to 0.2. So there is no values which is less than 0.2. So here again this is everything is 1. Okay. Or 0.9. It will take only those values which are greater than or equal to 0.9. 1 is greater than 0.9, so it comes here. 0.2 is not greater than 0.9, so it becomes 0. 0.3 is it's not greater than or equal to 0.9, so it is 0. 0.5 is less than 0.9, so 0. 0.9 is equal to 0.9, so 1. 0.6 is less than 0.9, so 0. 0.4, 0.8, 0.7, all these are less than 0.9, so 0, 0, 0. Right? Similarly, alpha cut value 0.5 for the relation R will be, it will take all values which are greater than or equal to 0.5. So 1 it will take 0.2, 0, 0.3 becomes 0, 0.5 it takes, that is 1, 0.9, so 1, 0.6, 1, 0.4, no it's not, so it is 0, 0.8 is 1.71. Okay. So this is how, so here you can see now you have converted this crisp value to a, now this fuzzy value to a crisp value. Okay. So this is R, so this is the for R0 this is the crisp value, for R0.2 this is the crisp relation, for R0.9 this is the crisp relation, for R0.5 this is the crisp relation. Okay. So this is how the concept of lambda cut works, and here we have some properties for lambda cut, that is A union B lambda is equal to A lambda union B lambda. That is, you perform A union B and then perform lambda cut. It is equivalent to A lambda cut union B lambda cut. Okay. Similarly, if you do A intersection B lambda cut, it is equivalent to A lambda intersection B lambda. Okay. Right. But this is not equal. See, this is quite interesting. What it says in the sense, first you perform A complement. You say the fuzzy set A is given like this. Say fuzzy set A is given like this. Let us take a simple set. Say x1.2, okay, x1.2, say x3.6, okay. So let us consider this as a fuzzy set. Now A dash lambda means what? First you here A dash lambda means first you perform A dash. So A dash is what? A dash is 1 minus A. So 1 minus A is what? It will be a point, 1 minus 0.2 is 0.8. Okay, so x1 will be 0.8. Okay, x1 0.8 and this is x2. x2 will be 0.4. x2 will be 0.4. Okay, right. So what it says in the sense, so this is A dash, okay, A complement. Now you calculate alpha. So say let us assume A lambda, say lambda value is say 0.8, that is it will take only the value which is greater than or equal to 0.8. Okay, so in that case the output will be x1, only x1 it will take. Okay, so a lambda is what, that is a dash lambda. Okay, a dash lambda is x1. Okay, but this is what, first we performed a dash and then lambda, but the right hand side what it says in the sense, the right hand side thing what it says in the sense, first you perform a lambda then take the complement of it. Okay, it says first take a lambda. So let us assume a lambda, again you assume the same lambda score, say a lambda equal to 0.8. Okay, a lambda equal to 0.8 in the sense, so if you apply a lambda which is, so nothing is greater than 0.8, so actually it will be a null set, it will be a null set. Okay, right, and then you perform complement of it. Okay, complement, so complement of null set is what, null set of complement is also null set only, right, so it is null set only. So these two things are not equal, that is the point, these two things are not equal. So if you perform a dash, I mean a complement lambda is not equal to a, what do you call, it is not equal to a lambda complement except for the value 0.5. 5 alone it will be applicable. Okay, for 0.5 alone it will be applicable. Okay, because so here if you consider one value as 0.5, if you say here we have in this set we have x3 as 0.5. Okay, then in a complement also x3 will be what, 0.5. In a complement also x3 will be 0.5. Okay, now if you consider a dash lambda of 0.5, then it will be x1 and x3, x1 and x3, right, because x1 is also greater than 0.5 and x3 is also greater than 0.5, because 1 minus 0.5 is also 0.5. Okay, now if you consider a dash lambda of 0.5, a dash lambda of 0.5, okay, that is which is greater than or equal to 0.5. So what we will get, so you will get a lambda, first we are performing a lambda. Okay, so a lambda, that is 0.5, which is greater than or equal to 0.5, that is x3 we will get. Okay, so x3 is what, again x3 is what, x3 value is 0.5. Okay, right, and now if you perform complement of this is also 0.5, right. Okay, so again it will be same value 0.5, right. So this is what it says, right. So the point is basically a complement lambda is not equal to a lambda complement. Okay, so but it will be equal only for when lambda is 0.5. Okay, for that value of 0.5 alone it will be equal, right. For any lambda which is less than or equal to alpha, where alpha lies between 0 and 1, it is true that for any lambda which is less than or equal to alpha is another variable, where alpha lies between 0 and 1, it is true that a alpha will be a subset of a lambda. Okay, a alpha will be the subset of a lambda. A0 will be the inverse of discourse, because A0 means anything greater than or equal to 0. So everything will come here, right. Okay, so for any alpha, any lambda which is a subset of alpha, okay, where alpha, for any lambda which is less than or equal to alpha, for any lambda which is less than or equal to alpha, right, where alpha lies between 0 and 1, it is true that a alpha will be a subset of a lambda, right. So these are some of the properties of alpha cut, that's it. So similarly we have some more properties. Okay, this is again this is same as these things whatever we have discussed here. Okay, so these properties, I mean here it is applicable to sets. This is for set. So all these properties are also applicable to relations. Okay, so R is a relation, S is a relation. So R union S of lambda is equal to R lambda union S lambda. R intersection S of lambda is equal to R lambda intersection S lambda. Similarly, R complement of lambda is not equal to, okay, is not equal to R lambda complement. Okay, and any value of lambda which is less than or equal to alpha, where alpha lies between 0 and 1, or alpha will be a subset of R lambda, right? Okay. Right. So what we have discussed so far in the sense, lambda cut methods converts either a fuzzy set or a fuzzy relation into a crisp set or a crisp relation, right? Okay. So if you consider the output of a fuzzy system can be either a single fuzzy set or sometimes it can be union of two or more fuzzy sets. So the output of fuzzy system need not be always a single fuzzy set. Sometimes it will be a single fuzzy set. Sometimes it can be a union of two or more fuzzy set. Okay. So to understand this second part, how an output of a fuzzy system will be a union of two or more fuzzy set, consider some relations. R1, R2, R3. These are some of the rule. Okay, which is given like this. If X is A1, then Y is B1. If X is A2, then Y is B2. So on and so forth. If X is AN, then Y is BN. So these are the rules. Okay. So assume that for a given input X equal to X1, for a given input X equal to X1, some of the rules may satisfy. Say three rules satisfy, R1, R2 and R3. Okay, in that case, this particular value for X is satisfying three rules. So then you have to take B1 union B2 union B3. So that is what it says. Because when X is equal to X1, these three rules are satisfying. So you have to take B1 union B2 union B3. So whichever the rule satisfies, for that you have to take union. Okay. So in this case, the output Y for a given input X equal to X1 is possibly B is equal to B1 union B2 union up to Bn. So if some X satisfy all the rules, then you have to calculate, you have to find the union of all the B's, right? So that is what it says. The output of a fuzzy system can be a single fuzzy system or union of two fuzzy set or union of two or more fuzzy sets, right? Okay. So here is an example for that, which is similar to the first one which we have discussed. Assume there are two rules, rule 1 and rule 2. So rule 1 says that if X is A1, then Y is C1. Rule 2 says that if X is A2, then Y is C2. So X can take values either from A1 or A2. So this is not B, this is A2. Okay, this you call it as A2, this is A1. Okay. So when X lies between these 1 and 4, say it is taking values from A1. When X lies between 2 and 6, it takes value from A2. Okay. But when X lies between 2 and 4, it takes value both from A1 and A2. Right? Okay. Whenever X is A1, Y will be, so this is the plot corresponding to Y. So Y will take some value which is in C, which lies in C1, that is between 1 and 6. Whenever X is A2, Y will take some value from C2, that is in between 4 and 8. Right? Okay. But there are some points. Say for example, this point if you take, it is intersecting, it will take values from both A1 and A2. So then it will also take values both from C1 and C2. So that's what we are going to discuss. So if X is this point, if X is this point X1, then it is connected only with A1. If it is connected only with A1, then it is connected only with C1. So it means, okay, if you draw a parallel line here, then it comes here, right? So when X is X1, it will take only values somewhere here, nothing else it will take. Okay, it will take only these values, it will take. not anything beyond that. Are you getting? Right? When x is x2, it is cutting on both a1 and a2. Okay, so it is intersecting in a1 and also it is intersecting in a2. So in a1 it is intersecting here. So if you draw a parallel line, it will be something like this, right? Okay, and in a2 it is intersecting here. So if you draw a parallel line, it will be something like this. Okay, so these are the area, these are the membership value will take any values uh, somewhere here. Okay, it will take all these values, right? Okay, because x is cutting here. Okay, so it will take here, right? And y is, and I mean a1 is cutting here and a2 is cutting here, right? Similarly, if you take x3, it is only intersecting with a2. So if you draw a parallel line for c2, okay, it is coming here. So it will take only this part of the values, right? It will take only this part of the value, right? Okay. So this is how. So here, so this is what is explained here. That is, sometimes more than one rule may occur. If more than one rule satisfied, then you have to take union of this. So that is what this example says. When x is x2, it is satisfying more than one rule. It is satisfying R1 and also it is satisfying R2. Then both union you have to consider. So you have to consider the R1 part, that is R1 part of C1, and also you have to consider the R2 part of C2. Right? So, so whatever we have discussed here, it is explained here more graphically. So this is the case when x is when x is x1, it is cutting here. So it takes any of these values, right? Depending on. So these are the values that this. So this fuzzy, what you call this this fuzzy set will take values from these range. Okay. If x is x2, then it will take values from this area, right? If x is x3, okay, then it will take values from this region, right? Okay. So that's it about this alpha cut method. So we are discussing about defuzzification. So alpha cut or lambda cut is one of the method for defuzzification. That is to convert fuzzy results to crisp result. Right. So let us stop here. Thank you.